we're going to run through some headlines here in the across the Lone Star State football headlines, and we start. It's very rare that we can have like breaking news,
right?
And put like the breaking news sounder up.
Yeah,
I know. Put up the breaking news sounder, but we do have some relatively breaking news in the Texas high school football coaching world. Lee Fedora, the head coach of the Navasota Rattlers, has resigned. He has left his post at Navasota, where he was wildly successful, leading the Rattlers to 2 straight titles in 2013 and 2014. This is a bit of a shock.
In some ways and in some ways not.
Because we were talking about this last week, about how they had gotten this settled. To catch you up on all the gory details, the Navasota, about a month ago, the Navasota School Board declined to extend Coach Fedora's contract. Now, the way that generally these things work is it's kind of routine. It's kind of wink, we'll go through the motions and do this, that you have a contract, and instead of going into your last year of your contract, you go before the school board, and they extend you for a year or 2 years maybe, but they extend you for a year so that you have a 2-year contract that just kind of recycles. And so so you're going in, you have job security for the next 2 years. And about a month ago, for some reason that still is unbeknownst to us and unbeknownst to the people on the ground like Larry Bowen down there at the Eagle, they declined to extend his contract. Now, they came back about 3 weeks later, last week, and extended his contract.
After everyone flipped out.
After everyone said, wait, what are we doing?
Yeah.
What are we doing with one of the best coaches in the state? Alas, they go and make sure that he gets his contract extension. But I posited on this show, is there poison in the well now? Have they set up a toxic situation in Navasota that is going to eventually drive away one of the best Texas high school football coaches?
And oh, by the way, if he did leave, probably not going to be that attractive a job to other people.
No, especially when you have set up a situation where you are giving really good coaches essentially votes of no confidence. Not a whole lot of coaches are going to want to go down there to Navasota. And so Lee Fedora leaves, and it is telling that Lee Fedora leaves without a job lined up. It's not like he's saying, "Oh, I'm going to go take the job at Hamlin or whatever." Right. He's not. He doesn't have a job lined up. He is currently unemployed. He just straight up quit his job.
Yeah.
And that tells you about the toxic situation that was down there at Navasota.
Yep.
What's the future for Lee Fedora? I don't know his heart. But I wouldn't, if you look at the coaching vacancies across the state right now, there's not a whole lot of big-time coaching vacancies. There's a handful here or there, but now that we're here into the first weeks of March, a lot of the big-time coaching jobs, think about, the coaching jobs that have come open, a lot of them have been filled. Temple's been filled. He would have been a great candidate for that.
Right.
Allen's been filled. He would have been a candidate maybe for that. Hewitt Midway's been filled.
Mansfield,
Midland Lee, all these big-time jobs across the state have largely been filled. The one job that's out there now, and this will lead us into our second headline, the one job that is out there is Cameron Yo. Of course, a team that won 3 consecutive titles from 2012 to 2014 and then came up with a runner-up finish last year. Rick Rhodes has left Cameron Yo to take over as the athletic director and head coach at Gregory Portland. He's taking over G-Port down there. Congratulations to Coach Rhodes. He's moving up from 3A up to a 5A, I think. I don't have him off the top of my head on the new realignment.
I think they're 5A now.
But congratulations to Coach Rhodes. He gets to be the athletic director at a big school. That's a real cool opportunity for Coach Rhodes. And he's a guy who obviously has coaching chops. You don't accident your way into 4 consecutive state title game appearances and 3 titles in 4 years.
Right.
But would Lee Fedora take a job at a 3A program? I wonder if Lee Fedora's best move, and again, there's obviously financial things that go into it. You got to make a salary. I wonder if he goes and takes some sort of assistance job right now some sort of coordinator job somewhere, and then kicks this can down the road. Because if past is pretense, then next year we're going to have another round of big-time jobs come open.
Yeah.
Okay? This year alone, we've had Allen, we've had Hewitt Midway, we've had Mansfield, we've had San Antonio Madison, we've had Midland Lee, we've had Odessa, we've had huge jobs come open. There aren't any of those huge jobs open right now, with the exception of Cameron Yeo, which would represent a step down in classification for him.
And to be fair, and to be clear, Madison is open, and we do think that's a big job, but they're supposedly going to hire tomorrow.
Yes.
So
yes, apparently. So this is a really interesting situation. I wonder if his best, and it's not like the NFL where these guys are so rich that they can just take a year off. I wonder if Lee Fedora would want to take an assistant's job just knowing full well that he's going to be the hottest free agent in Texas high school football in 2017.
There's two other things to consider here. There's always the possibility of a late spring opening.
Sure.
A Cedar Park, something like that.
Sure.
Which
came up in May last year.
Yeah. There's that. And then, something you haven't really talked about, college.
Yeah.
This is a guy whose brother's a great coach, obviously, at the college level. There's plenty of guys in Texas that probably find room for him on their staff, even if it was just for a year. So, a lot of possibilities here, but extremely talented coach. And, we don't know the whole story at Navasota, but it better be a really good reason.
Yeah.
To disassociate yourself with someone who's been so successful.
It's a bizarre situation that appears to have come to a head. Lee Fedora, has resigned at Navasota. Other headlines across the Lone Star State as far as football is concerned. So, did you know there's another football league?
That's the hot rumor out there.
So there is there's possibly soon to launch Major League Football. It's going to be run in the basically everybody in the world has tried to start a spring football.
Right.
League.
Yeah.
Think back to the XFL. Think back to the USFL. They wanted to run as direct competitors to the NFL, but do it in their offseason.
Right.
Well, there are now, rumors that and reports that the MLFB, Major League Football, could be looking into a team in Houston, could be looking into a team in San Antonio, a few other places that they could open. The problem is, first of all, Major League Football is trying to they want to serve as a developmental league is what they want to do for the NFL, which I've long thought is maybe something you think about pretty much every other league, major sports league in America. The NBA has the D League.
Right.
The NHL has, the minor leagues. I don't actually remember the names of those minor leagues.
Is it the USHL?
Yeah, something like USHL. They've got other lower tier minor league teams. The Dallas Stars have a minor league team, and then of course Major League Baseball has a huge minor league system. I've long thought that that's a missing piece for the NFL. Could Major League Football be that? And if they do, then they could be, they could be finding their way into Texas, into places like Houston, like San Antonio. And the other thing you think about it, Texas would be a perfect spot because you've already got big stadiums all over the place, right? And you don't need to go and build a stadium for a minor league football team.
No.
You look at, minor league baseball. You don't necessarily have to have them in these big cities either.
Right.
I mean, they're in Round Rock and they are in Frisco and they are in these areas all over. In El Paso. They have all over the place. You don't necessarily have to have them in big cities. So Major League Football is an interesting idea that could be. We're going to keep you posted, but could be around the corner. And finally, another one. Coming up for a vote here in McKinney, in the Dallas suburb of McKinney, is a $220 million bond proposal is up in McKinney, which would include $50 million for a high school football stadium. And this is the new way of the world in Texas. Is you get the big bond passed and you build this giant stadium and you make your money back with it, renting it out. The layouts for this 12,000 seat stadium look impressive. They look a lot like, the Allen Eagle Stadium. Maybe
Not far off.
It doesn't have the full bowl around it, but
pretty close.
It's a big stadium. The capacity of McKinney's new stadium wouldn't fit the 18,000 for Allen's Eagle Stadium, but it would be very similar to the one that we've got coming down the pike in Katy, which is going to
just got approved.
Not
long ago.
Going to be $61 million down there in Katy. This is the new arms race, right?
Mm-hmm.
We talk about the indoor facilities and we talk about all that fun stuff. This is the new arms race, is that everybody wants to have these big, these big modern stadiums that cost a lot of taxpayer money. Depending on where you fall politically, you can either think that's a good idea, bad idea, indifferent on the idea. But McKinney is mulling that over, and they will vote on the bond issue here in a bit. I don't have a date on it. I don't know when they're going to vote. But anyway, I don't know when elections are. I don't really pay attention to politics. Although I know that political Twitter is there like a political thing like every day now?
Pretty much. Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Go away, politics. Go away. I'm trying to pay attention to football.
Yeah.